things I was kind of curious about. We didn't hear a lot about your younger life and growing up. I know about you have roots here in Ohio, but
Yes.
you were born in New York.
Born in New York City and moved shortly thereafter to Englewood, New Jersey, just across the bridge, and lived there until I was 7, and then moved to California. And by 8, we located in Sacramento, California, where I then went to public school before going off to college. And then I was in medical school in San Francisco and lived in San Francisco for 34 years, so quite a long time before moving to Southern California now just about 9 years ago. So East Coast born, began elementary school there, but then when I was in 3rd grade, we moved to California.
And we got a chance to meet your wife. You have 2 sons, is that correct?
We have 2 wonderful sons, actually, and both are married, and each has a child, so we have 2 sons, 2 daughters-in-law, a granddaughter, and a grandson.
And I was really interested. I'd seen one of those videos that you did for the university that you didn't always want to be a doctor. You had some other aspirations before that?
Yeah, I mean, as a teenager, I thought that there were a lot of things I'd like to do for a living. We had a go-kart, so I thought maybe I should be a race car driver, and I made home movies, so I thought maybe I should be a filmmaker. But I knew that I was going to go to medical school. I mean, I decided to go to medical school when I was about 13. And even though I had fantasies of doing other things, those were kind of Saturday fantasies more than anything, and I was really always directed toward medical school. So my father's a physician, and I admired him very much. He was a wonderful man. He practiced until just about a year ago. When he was 99, he practiced. He was still seeing patients when he passed away, and died watching a football game on TV, just fell asleep and didn't wake up a year ago. And so he had an incredible work ethic, and saw when I was a child, he had a small office in the home. So he saw some patients in the home, and then he'd go out to his regular work during the day, but medicine was there at the house and meant a lot to me. And then I always liked science, and that was great fun, and I liked interacting with people. And so, gosh, you could do science and interact with people and do some good in the world, and that seemed like a great thing to do. And let me say one further bit that was very important. My older brother also is a physician, and he was off in medical school he's 11 years older than I, and he was in medical school and came home for his Christmas break and had his books around, and I remember opening one of his books, and I was able to read it, and I said, "Oh, this is a piece of cake," So I remember that very well. It was a Gray's Anatomy, and I read it and understood it, and I said, "Gosh, if I can do this at 13, when I'm 23, it'll be easy."
One of the things people talked about, talking about you, is, obviously your expertise in medicine, but kind of the breadth that you have, you've expanded outside all sorts of different areas. So, I mean, some of those, for example, you still are a race car enthusiast, is that right? Do you still follow?
Oh, as a hobby. I have a lot of hobbies that any teenage boy would have, I mean, so.
And I've seen someone mention guitar. Are you a guitarist?
Guitarist is probably an elevation. I have a guitar, and it lets me play it if nobody's watching. Leave it that way. It keeps me company while I'm watching TV.
We've seen a few photos of risen of you playing at concerts or benefits.
With enough people surrounding me, I'm willing for a good cause to join in.
Some people that I've talked with have really described you as kind of a modern-day Renaissance man, in that you've got breadth and depth in a lot of areas, and lots of curiosity and interest in the music, arts, medicine, higher education, and the future of higher education. And tell me a little bit about all of this.
I guess I went to medical school early, as we've said, and there I liked the university aspects of medical school more than I knew that I would. I was planning on being a doctor, kind of hanging a shingle up like my dad, but I loved the teaching part of it, and I loved the research part of it, and I loved the interactions with people, and the research part of it was that you could ask yourself questions and then learn answers where others didn't know those answers. And I'd say that interest really kept me in academic medicine, but it also extends to other things, and like many other people, in art and music and culture and travel, those things I find just fascinating. And we have it's a great privilege to be in a society where those things are available, and it's a great privilege actually to work at a university where what we do is try to continually develop the capacity for us to fulfill our human potential. So sorry for mumbling that so much, but it really developed the capacity for us to develop our human potential. And so I've stayed at a university all these years because I find it such a stimulating place to be.
And you've continued to teach and do research, correct? Or
Continue to
some
teach,
level?
not so much. My research sort of, in this role, the research is sort of moved away. I probably haven't published a paper in 2 or 3 years. I had a textbook out about 3 years ago, but that's, not time really to do that in this phase. But I still teach. I teach medical students a bit. I teach practicing physicians. I'm giving a lecture in about a week and a half. But my main teaching is really undergraduates, and I teach in humanities, and with our law school dean, we teach a course on civil rights and the Supreme Court and the music of the civil rights era.
We can't wait to hear more because it sounds fascinating.
We love it, actually, and the students are at least polite. So,
You plan to do that here at Ohio State as well?
yeah, I think that the way that I would do it is once I arrive, is then approach the academic senate and talk, get proper approval to set up the right level of course to teach, and it's one of my favorite things to do. And we have a critical thinking course. It's a small course, so we have to manage the amount of work that I would have to do just because the travel schedule and things are difficult. And I try to pick a good co-teacher. But we find the chance to interact with the students on a regular basis is one of the great privileges. So it's the anchor of my schedule every year. In winter quarter on Tuesday afternoons, I teach freshmen.
And you alluded certainly to the importance of affordability and cost containment.
Yes.
I mean, that seems to be one of the highest priorities
Yes.
for students and families. I mean, what can you tell me? You've obviously thought about this. What needs
Yes.
to be done?
Well, a couple things. First, cost containment generally is important for large organizations, and I know every large organization always can improve its efficiency a little bit, and what I will really work to do is to help us improve our efficiency. But also we can be more effective, and there's how much it costs to go to school. Okay, if you're able to graduate on time, then those costs are much less than if you stay longer for any particular reason. So looking at the way we provide opportunities for students, and I have no particular knowledge on that now. I want to make sure I'm not stepping into something I don't understand. But just in general, making it that we can improve the facility of students to be able to graduate in a timely fashion, I think helps to keep the costs under control, the cost to the student and family under control. Let me say also that support from alumni and others that help to defray the cost of those students who don't happen to come from families with the means to pay for college is a critically important thing, and we want to make sure that everyone understands the importance of investing in the university's ability to be able to help advance those kids forward.